Here's you, Skill.
Okay. I have nothing to toast you with. Because,
Oh my goodness!
Well,
I think that's how everybody felt after this Champions League week, as it is the first ever match day 7, and not gonna lie, we were cooked. And we got absolutely a 5-star meal with almost every game basically, except you could probably say Club Brugge and Juventus was atrocious, but every other game was magical. Absolutely magical. And we're going to break down PSG and Barcelona's incredible and heroic comeback to win their respective games. We're going to talk about Bayern Munich getting dismantled by Santi Jimenez. We're going to talk about Liverpool still being perfect. We're going to talk about Slovan, Bratislava, and Young Boys getting to James Bond 007 settings. Get your thoughts in the comments down below. If you're watching a replay, what's your biggest takeaway from this week in the Champions League? Is it Barca and PSG's comebacks? Is it Bayern Munich getting destroyed? Is it Man City? Are they going to miss out on the knockout round? That would be wild. But get your thoughts in the comments down below. Hit the subscribe button if you're new around here for more Champions League content. And of course, the most important thing is you hit the like button. Big up to Jeff. Well, Michael. Have you felt the delusion of your team yet? Not yet. I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid just yet, Jeff. But I'll tell you when I'm deluded. Big up, Jeff. How you doing? Big up to Michael. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Mo. Good afternoon, Curtis. I'm starting to like this new Champions League format. We're going to have that discussion at the end of this stream on how is this new Champions League format looking right now. Is it cooking? Is it more time that you need to adapt to it? What is the biggest thing? And big up to GGM as well. We got a lot to go through, people. As we do on the Michael Talks Football channel, we don't just focus on the Premier League teams. We don't just focus on Serie A teams. We're talking about every single game. Every single game. This is a dedication I do for you people. And big up to Rafi as well. Let's get to it then, people. So Atalanta, they're back in winning ways, people. 5-star. Maybe they just said, heck, we want to copy Barcelona. We want to get 5 goals as well. Atalanta needed this. Not so much for Sturm Graz. Like, Sturm Graz are just terrible. Sorry to any Sturm Graz fans out there. I know they just sold Bieref to AS Monaco. They're not a great team. We see with Austrian Bundesliga sides this year, they are not competing whatsoever. The only team that's competing, I think, is Rapid Vienna in the Conference League. That's the only side. Everybody else is getting destroyed. And Sturm Graz went to Bergamo and said, yeah, we're just going to lay down here, and we're just going to take a 5-piece. Look, Atalanta needed this. They've been on a bit of a rough patch recently. They haven't been playing well. I think defensively they have looked a liability. So what's better than getting Sturm Graz to show up at your stadium and saying to yourself, let's get a couple goals here from Retegui to CDK to Lukman. Lukman has been cooking all season, but more it's for CDK, who's been having a little bit of a slump recently, and Retegui, who's coming back from injury. But still, I will say this, and you guys let me know your thoughts in the chat as well. How far do you think Atalanta can go? Are they still the dark horses for you? For me, they are a quarterfinal team. Now, they're not out of the races yet. They're not certified top 8 side at the moment. They're in 7th place. But next week, Atalanta are going to Barcelona. That game is going to be awesome to watch because we know Atalanta, they don't care what opponent. They will play their football. So it's going to be interesting to see how Gasperini is going to adapt to that game. But Atalanta, they just cooked them. I mean, some of the goals were really just easy. I mean, the goal for CDK, Isaac Hein wins the header, and it's just a tap-in for CDK to Retegui, nice little finish. It was easy for Atalanta. If they didn't win this game, I would be worried for them. Then I would be seriously worried and say, hey, they need some reinforcements. Shirky, get to Bergamo ASAP. But good performance, 5-star, boom, nice and easy for them. Big up, Jeff. 6 a.m. Shout out to you, Jeff. Michael, do you think Martinelli has a new role or something because he seemed so good yesterday? We'll talk about Arsenal later, and Atalanta can go to the semis. I think so as well. Atalanta are one of those teams where you saw last season in the Europa League, you don't want to go up against them. And a two-legged tie against this man right there, you don't want to face Gasperini. No, you don't. Yeah, he doesn't have the best squad compared to other teams in Europe, but his coaching will take Atalanta over the line. But the goal scoring and the defense needs to be better. Yeah, they've scored more and more goals recently, but it was too heavily reliant on Lukman. If Lukman isn't cooking, then that whole entire front line ain't cooking. And they don't really have options off the bench because Skamaka's injured. Zaniolo, yeah, okay, he'll get that goal against AS Roma, take off his shirt and not show up again. So yeah, Atalanta though, dangerous team. They do need a top 8. So if you're any team in that knockout round, if you're like a 17th, 18th place team or 20th, you don't want to face the side. You don't want to face the side. All right, so now it was one of the first Ligue 1 teams to beat a Premier League team, and that is AS Monaco beat Aston Villa. And I don't know if you people saw the reaction of Unai Emery after the game. I have never seen Unai Emery that pissed. He was mad. I mean, he just ridiculously called out his entire team, basically. He said they got no motivation. They don't got the huevos. They don't have the huevos on this team. And Unai Emery called them out. He basically did that. And if we're going to be honest, Aston Villa were pretty poor. Leon Bailey, I know he had a very good season last year, but this season, the dude is lacking all the confidence in the world. Just very hesitant. He gets into good positions, but just hesitant. I mean, there was that one chance he had in the first half where he gets on his left foot, cuts it back on his right foot, and then he just dribbles it out for a goal kick for AS Monaco. And credit to AS Monaco, they've been in a rut recently. They've been losing games. They lost to Montpellier. No team should be losing to Montpellier because they are garbage. AS Monaco gave them a victory, and then AS Monaco beat a Premier League team. Football's a crazy sport, people. Football's a crazy sport. How it can just turn around and single, great header from the corner, and that was pretty much it. Like, okay, Aston Villa had their couple of chances. Duran coming off the bench didn't really work out. I just think Aston Villa, they were just flat. Like, compare that to how they performed in the second half against Arsenal. It's like night and day. You don't recognize the team when they're performing like that. I think Villa fans will be very sort of disappointed in their side that they couldn't capitalize on the momentum. But heck, credit to AS Monaco. They're doing very well still. They're 10th place. They're only right now behind Aston Villa in the, I think AS Monaco are 10th and Aston Villa are 9th. And Aston Villa still got Celtic at home. So if you're Villa, you're still in a good position to finish in the top 8. But you got to win that game. And Celtic, no, they just get a point. They're in a good position for the knockout round, even though they've already qualified. But yeah, not a great performance from Aston Villa. AS Monaco, they had a couple of decent opportunities with Golovin in the second half. He had a couple of decent opportunities, but Martinez was there to save it. So yeah, it's just more. This game was more about Villa being terrible than AS Monaco being good. Like, and then I think it was somebody said that the crowds are terrible. Have you not been watching AS Monaco for all this decade or 2 decades? Their own crowd is non-existent. It's not non-existent. So what do you expect? Oh my God, we're going to get a great atmosphere here in Monaco. No, you're not. You're going to go to the casino. You're going to pay 20 euros for a beer, and you're going to go watch the game. That's how it is when you go to a Monaco game. But Aston Villa, flat performance. And yeah, credit to AS Monaco. If Atalanta gets easy draws, then it is their year. Well, that would be crazy. Ciao Juve Cornercast, how you doing? Good. Hopefully you're doing well. Ligue 1 teams are actually very good. We'll talk about more Ligue 1 teams soon. Hey, don't hate my man Tamari. Well, that was his first 2 goals of the season. So shout out to Musa Al-Tamari, but finally Mo, he started cooking. I mean, it took him God knows how long to do it, but at least he did it. PSV, you just love Peter Bosz, don't you? You just love Peter Bosz ball because you're going to get chaoticness, you're going to get set piece goals. All of 3 PSV's goals were set pieces. First from Luke de Goat, second from Luke de Goat, and Flamingo probably the goal of the match day. Ridiculous volley from the center back who was playing right back, I think, in the game. Ridiculous volley, and then he gets sent off. And then that's when the game completely changed around. How many shots did PSV have in that second half? Oh my God. PSV had 34% ball possession at 3 shots, 1 on target. Okay, Flamengo got the red card, and it was the last match, so it was rightfully a red card in the 50th minute. And then Crvena zvezda just started cooking them. And if you look at the first half, yeah, Crvena zvezda had a couple of decent opportunities in behind the PSV defense. And Ndia had a really good chance in that first half, but they couldn't capitalize on it. And then look, the goal just said here's a couple of goals. But PSV almost, similar to how PSV came back and beat Shaktar Donestk, Crvena zvezda almost did the same to PSV. Yeah, okay, Crvena zvezda didn't have a lot of good opportunities. They didn't really capitalize on the red card. Okay, yeah, they got almost all of these goals. I think the second goal for Crvena zvezda was also from a corner when I was watching the highlights. So, yeah, look, PSV, they hang on. Do I think they're going to go far in this Champions League? Not really. I just think that defense is such a liability. It would be a good game, though, against Liverpool next week, and they kind of have to win it when you're looking at the standings of the knockout round. PSV, at the moment, are 19th. They should be fine, and they will qualify to the knockout round, but they got to get up to 11th, 12th, I would say, because right now they would play, like, I think Stade, Brestois, or Lille. Not the easiest of opponents, but PSV are a good team on their day. When they're not on their day, they will get dismantled by any team in Europe. Any team. You name it. Shaktar Donetsk, Slovan Bratislava, to AS Monaco, they just destroyed Feyenoord, so I can't really say that. But they have the capabilities of being a good side, but they just throw away games. They throw away games, and that's Peter Boszbal. But they got the victory. And that's the most important thing, especially going away to the Maracanã in Belgrade. It's not an easy stadium. Look at what happened to Stuttgart. They lost 5-1 there. And PSV got the victory. And yeah, Crvena zvezda, where are they at in the standings? 32nd. I mean, at least they got the victory over Stuttgart. They got a minus 10 goal difference. So not too bad for Crvena zvezda. A nice little cameo in Europe. So people, he's finally sacked. Thank God. This friendship experiment is over with Borussia Dortmund. First, got to give credit to Bologna, and then, we're going to ridicule Dortmund, because rightfully so. I mean, you cannot throw away that game. This is Bologna's first Champions League victory probably since the 50s when they were in the European Cup. So, for Bologna and Vincenzo Italiano, they haven't been a side that have scored a lot of goals during this Champions League campaign. They haven't been scoring a lot of goals. So, to get 2 goals in 2 minutes is a Dortmund thing. Very Dortmund thing. First Dalinka, then Ealing Jr. I mean, they got credited for the football they have been playing recently. Like, they should have done better against Lille Bologna. They should have done better in other games. Now they got credited with this victory over Borussia Dortmund. Massive just for the confidence boost. And they're actually having, if you look on paper, they're having a better season than last year. And everybody was raving, including myself, about Bologna. Look at Thiago Motta, look at Xerxes, look at all these guys. Calafiori with the wonderful hair. But Vincenzo Italiano, losing those key players, changing the manager, they're still doing well. Now they're not going to have to balance Serie A and the Champions League. Of course, still next week for Bologna. I think they're going away to Sporting, if I'm not mistaken. But that is a massive victory for Bologna. They boost up the coefficient for Serie A to get that extra Champions League spot, but also gives massive confidence for this team to, heck, we can make it to the top 4. Bologna are not that far from the top 4 in the Serie A, and they play good football. And the one thing with Vincenzo Italiano is he does well in these cup competitions. It's just when he gets to a final, he will bottle it. Bottled twice with Fiorentina in the Conference League, and then obviously bottled the Coppa Italia final once with Fiorentina. But they are a good team, and they got credited with the victory. While for Borussia Dortmund, actually wait, let me get up this photo, people, because I think it does justice to what we need to speak on right here. I mean, they do call him 004. 0 tactics, 0 wins. Nuri Sahin. I mean, it gets to a point where I called it. I said, even after the Madrid game, I think it was another Champions League game, I said Nuri Sahin will be sacked during this season because you can just see he is not ready for this job. And it was evident over and over again and over again. The fact that they have one victory away from home in the Bundesliga should tell you everything about this team. Now, Has Dortmund played decent football throughout this year? Yeah, they have. Yeah. Look, Dortmund played really good football against Madrid in that first half, and they should have really won that game, and then Sahin threw it away with those substitutions. But he was never ready for this job. The only reason why he got this job is he was assistant manager with Terzic. Okay, we're going to get him ready for the job. He's going to be cooking when he gets into the job. No. I think I was reading somewhere, he wasn't even having the coach's badges ready. If you're hiring a manager who doesn't even have a UEFA Pro license, this is not Will Still. This is not some FM GOAT. Nuri Sahin came from the Turkish league, goes to Dortmund. This is all about just like, we used to play together. Maybe you will do a good job. Dortmund are just a mess. If you guys want to see a very good video, of course, Robono TV did a deep dive on it. I would highly recommend watching it because you kind of understand that there's a power struggle within the boardroom. Mislintat, yeah, you guys remember him from Ajax, the corrupt, basically, dude who, with all those signings, was making money, goes to Dortmund, and then him and Sebastian Kiel, they don't see eye to eye with each other, and you can just see it with the transfers they've been doing. The fact that they're even linked to Marcus Rashford should scream alarm bells everywhere. Alarm bells everywhere. And then you look at them on the field, and they are a disaster. I mean, this game, I think I saw 2 wingbacks, and the 2 wingbacks were Duranville and Gittins. They played a 3-back formation. And as soon as Emre Can got onto the field, they started conceding goals. The guy should not be playing for Dortmund anymore. He wasn't even starting at the beginning of the season. And yet you're still trying to say to yourself, maybe Emre Can will put in a good performance. No, he won't. So Dortmund, look, they are still going to be in the knockout round. But when you look at them play, they're not that team. It is more remarkable to say how bad was Terzic. But if you actually look at Terzic and his coaching, the guy's not even any better than Nuri Sahin, but yet he got his team close to winning a Bundesliga title, close to a Champions League trophy. Terzic is miles better than Nuri Sahin. Whereas you think to yourself, okay, you go away from Terzic because you want to get better as a club. Dortmund are not doing that. Dortmund are falling and falling and falling. Yeah, okay, they're going to make it to the Champions League knockout rounds. They're right now in 14th place. Actually, Bayern Munich are in 15th place, man. Bundesliga teams, we're going to have to have a discussion about this season. But it was just writing on the wall. They should have done this. As soon as they lost to Holstein Kiel, when you're 3-0 down at halftime to that club, sack him. It was just delaying the inevitable. You knew this was going to happen. The play on the field isn't good enough. And rightfully so, he is sacked. Now, Dortmund, I don't know where they go from here. Apparently, they're rumored with Niko Kovac. If they hire Niko Kovac, this is going to get even worse. Because that guy's not any good either. Okay, I would say get Ten Hag. Honestly, get Ten Hag. But they apparently cannot do it because of the financial restrictions. I mean, obviously, he's getting paid huge money at Man United, and he's still under the book. So, it's just a mess at Dortmund. How do you think this is going to get rectified? Do you think it's that they have to clear the boardroom? Their transfer strategy has been pretty poor, where they're just hoping to find that 100 million pound player from Manchester City's academy or from a lower league team in France. Dortmund have always been very good at executing and finding talent. Right now, they can't find any talent. Okay, you got the likes of Gittins, but Ben Sabani, not good enough. Girassi, I think he's still a good player. He will work. Pascal Gross, no. Who am I thinking of? The other Austrian midfielder. Who am I thinking of? The other Austrian Sabitzer. Not good enough. So you can just see with these transfer strategies, they're not going to work out. And it sucks because I was going to have a soft spot for Dortmund. When growing up, okay, they were struggling big time. Then when Jurgen Klopp went in there, he just completely changed the team. And everybody started respecting Dortmund again. They were like, oh my God, the football they're playing. And then I really started following Dortmund more and more. Now you just look at them, you're like, you don't recognize Borussia Dortmund. You don't. You're just seeing Schalke in B colors right now. And if Dortmund do not fix this situation in the boardroom, they could go into a Schalke situation. Remember, Schalke were in the Champions League only 2 seasons before they got relegated, and now they're just stuck there with HSV in the Bundesliga 2. So Dortmund have to be very careful with this next hiring. If you're saying to me, Niko Kovac is the guy, you think the situation's bad now. It might get even worse, people. Even worse. But yeah, credit to Bologna. They finally got their first victory this season in the Champions League, and in all honesty, they deserve it. They deserve it. Big up to Curtis says they should have sticked with Terzic. No, they should have not sticked with Terzic. What you do is you don't go and stick with people that are familiar with the club. You need somebody away from the family vibes. They're trying to stick to the family, and it's not working out anymore. So, no, they should have went for somebody away from Dortmund. Bologna or Dortmund did not deserve to win. Dortmund was just tactically poor and was really low on motivation due to their position in the Bundesliga. Bologna took the chance and won. Meh. Nuri Sahin is an unexperienced manager from Antalya Sport to Dortmund. It's just a huge jump. Yeah, it is. I mean, he was assistant before, but I see your point. Bring Ten Hag to Dortmund. He'll fix anything. I don't know. They thought they can pull a wheel still. Ten Hag to Dortmund is just asking for relegation. Emre Can and Nuri Sahin are both Turkish ancestry, so obviously Nuri Sahin wanted to give him a chance, not about the skills anymore. Roger Schmidt, maybe, yeah. They need to bring him to Belgium. I need to win that UEFA qualifies bet. Gotcha. Ten Hag go for Dortmund. If they can't afford Ten Hag, Miroslav Klose could be an option. Possibly, yeah. I don't know how well he's doing with Nuremberg, but I've heard they tried to get the assistant manager for Nagelsmann. Oh my God, what was his name? Sandro Wagner. They tried to go for him, but he wants to stay with them. And no, they're out. They're eliminated. Bologna. They're eliminated. So yeah, Dortmund are a mess, and credit to Bologna. Oh, Julian Alvarez. Here we go. So, do we credit this comeback more on, wow, look at Atleti, great spirit, Diego Simeone, what a fantastic manager, or is this more on Bayer Leverkusen bottling this? Like, how Bayer Leverkusen, so dominant in the first half, tactically outclassed Atleti, controlling the pace of the game, controlling the ball, really moving the ball well, creating a couple decent opportunities. Obviously, it's very difficult to score past Jan Oblak because he's a ridiculous goalkeeper. But the second half, Bayer Leverkusen fell into the Atleti trap. They fell into their trap. And exactly how Atleti wanted to go. All Atleti needed was just to get that game 1-0 or 0-0 in halftime, and they knew they were going to win that second half. Because El Cholo, man, Diego Simeone is just that guy. You can hate his antics, you can hate his football, but he will get the results. I don't want to hear about, oh, he's a butler. Okay, yeah, he lost 2 Champions League finals to Real Madrid. I mean, seriously, one was on penalties, one was extra time. Come on, that's just a stupid rhetoric. You give Diego Simeone time to tactically get ready with this, with the halftime, he will come out with a different game plan in that second half. And you saw immediately what they were doing. Rodrigo de Paul stepping up. Julian Alvarez stepping up, being more calmer on the ball. Antoine Griezmann being more involved in the play because Griezmann was a no-show in the first half. Griezmann in the second half, that was Grisou. And gotta give massive credit to Jimenez. Jimenez was immense in that second half. The whole Atleti defense was unbelievable. The way they just nullified Patrick Schick to Florian Wirtz, and they got into the psyche of Florian Wirtz to Xhaka to a lot of Bayer Leverkusen players and Julian Alvarez. I mean, some people said he would flop. Some people said, why are you paying such big money? Okay, we're seeing guys like Omar Mahmoud. We're seeing guys like Jack Grealish. We're seeing guys like Anthony go for 80 to 100 million. Atleti knew what they were getting in Julian Alvarez. He's a much better player than João Felix. Yeah, João Felix might give you the trick. João Felix is a TikTok guy. Julian Alvarez is a footballer. That's the difference. Okay, Atleti knew they screwed up with that João Felix contract and the signing. Said, okay, we need to now get a proper gunman. They got it right now. Julian Alvarez just epitomizes an Atleti player. Hardworking, able to just carry the team and get you goals in crucial moments. I mean, okay, Jonathan Tah is not a good center back, not like an elite center back. He's decent center back. I mean, he just got outpaced. Julian Alvarez was just doing the spin-a-rooney on Jonathan Tah that entire second half. The way he just beat him. Grimado hit the gym, buddy. You got to get some, I don't know what's your diet. Maybe it's mostly just asparagus and lettuce and broccoli. Now we got to add some meat there. Maybe some fish. You can add some white fish, maybe put some pesto sauce on it. You got to bulk up a little bit because Julian, that guy hits the gym. Gets the goal. The second goal, it's a little bit of a scrappy goal. Correa then gets it to Julian Alvarez, but just the calmness, and that's what you need from your main guys, from a Griezmann to Julian Alvarez to Rodrigo de Paul. In the pressure moments, calma, tranquilo. And Julian Alvarez delivers it. I have always loved the player. Watching him at River, I was like, no, this kid is different to other prospects in South America because he steps up in the biggest moments. He's won a Copa Libertadores. He's won a World Cup, a Copa America, Champions League. What more? All he needs to do is win a La Liga or win the Champions League with Atleti. And Julian, man, what a career he is having at the moment. And he's still very young. Great purchase from Atleti, and he steps up when his team needed it most. And they got Hincapié sent off. It's just pure Atleti. For Bayer Leverkusen, they've been playing well. They've been on a crazy winning streak. That second half shows they're not fully back yet, though. They're not fully... Like, the way they just capitulated and allowed Atleti just to dictate the game. I'm like, Bayer Leverkusen, control the... You're one man up. One man up. Yes, it's a very hostile environment you go to, but Bayer Leverkusen have traveled to other grounds in Europe, and yet they lost their cool in this game? Nah, that was just a weird game from Bayer Leverkusen. I'm not going to go over the top and say, nah, they don't have a chance of winning the Champions League. I still think they can win it because they got quality players like Granit Xhaka, to top Soba, to Hincapié, but they need to show more of a presence and more of a just a call. Like, they played a decent football, but that day, they got Atletico. They got Atletico, and that's Diego Simeone. Now they are in third. Like, imagine, Atleti were out of the top 24. I think it was 4th match day or 5th match day. Atleti right now are in 5th place after 4 straight wins. They beat PSG. They destroyed Sparta Praha. They beat Slovan Bratislava. They beat Bayer Leverkusen. I don't remember who their last game is. Guys, who's Atletico's last game? Let me know in the chat. And yeah, shout out to Cyborg saying, how far can Atletico go in the Champions League? You guys let me know your thoughts in the chat if you're watching replay. How far do you think Atleti can go? I think this team still... I just cannot see a Champions League winning side at the moment, but I think they're going to make it to a quarterfinal, semifinal. I think that's where they can go to. And they are a better team compared to last year. Last year, conceding goals for fun. You saw the game against Inter. Sort of similar game to Bayer Leverkusen. Atleti just made it their own game, but something is still missing from this team where I'm like, yes, they can win the Champions League. Maybe it's the left back position. Maybe it's another center back, but it's still Atleti. I will never count these guys out. They are such a dangerous team, especially with Simeone, man. So yeah, I would say quarterfinal, semifinal. Champions League is different from Europa League and Bundesliga. Xabi Alonso is facing real competition. Would agree with that. Julian has more trophies than Kane at 20 years. Yeah, they lack UCL experience. Atleti in top 8 was not what I expected. Can't lie, neither did I. And they did have a pretty tough schedule. Maybe quarters, and they have Salzburg. Okay, so Atleti have won their game. So yeah, Atleti will be in the top 8. Top 8, easy for them. Easy for them, and big up to Pratik as well. Oh man, what a game. What a game. And then Liverpool. So, Liverpool are still the only team to go perfect in the Champions League. 7-4-7. Was it the best performance? No. Now you got some people on Shit Sport, aka Talk Sport, saying Liverpool are boring. Oh my God, what is this football? I mean, people just love these sound bites, especially from that company. They just love these sound bites. Oh my God, let's just say something really ridiculous so we can get some clicks on Twitter or clicks on Instagram, and we're going to get paid like that. It's just stupidity, honestly. Was it the best performance from Liverpool? First half, not really. First half was pretty dull. Some of the passing was just a little bit too ambitious. Like, you got to be a bit more calmer if you're Salah. Salah was just trying to do Trivela after Trivela, and it wasn't really working out. And then they get the goal. And the funniest part about that goal was all this crap that people were giving to Curtis Jones saying, oh, Hazard is a better footballer. Like, oh my God, stop with this debate. Stop with this debate. Just let it go, people. They are two exceptional players, are Mo Salah and Eden Hazard. But Curtis Jones gave the assist to Salah, and the Salah's finish was ridiculous. The guy who hasn't scored for 3 games to finish like that first time, ridiculous goal. And then Lille got back into the game. Lille are still, I would say, a very good team. Very good team because they know how to defend well. They know how to counterattack. And the fact that they're missing a couple key players like Shegrova, and yet still were able to go toe-to-toe with a team that are top of the Premier League and top of the Champions League. Got to give credit to Lille. They really gave a good game to Liverpool. Jonathan David, easy tap in. And then Harvey Elliott gets the second goal. Liverpool could have really killed this game off. I mean, Chevalier, the goalkeeper, still. This guy's getting a move somewhere this summer. Chevalier, the goalkeeper for Lille, unbelievable. I've said this many times on the Champions League review show. He is a goalkeeper to watch. I think he's only 23, 22. Chelsea, you need a goalkeeper. Man United, you need a goalkeeper. Barcelona, you need a goalkeeper. Well, maybe Ter Stegen will come back. Chevrolet is that guy. He is unbelievable goalkeeper. So yeah, Liverpool is still the only perfect team. Nothing really going crazy about. They just do their business. Next week, Liverpool can now rest some players. Let's see if Slot is going to do that because Liverpool have guaranteed themselves a top 2 finish. So if you're in the top 2 of the Champions League, you're automatically going to get the second leg of every round at home. That's perfect. Isn't that what Liverpool fans wanted? Now I just see crying, oh my God, we could get this team in the round. It's the Champions League. You're going to play the best of the best. Isn't that what you want? If Liverpool in the Champions League, you can say, round of 16, we beat this team. Quarterfinal, we beat this team. Stop complaining, people. This is the... If this was the Europa League or the Mid-League, you would be like, oh my God, why are we doing this? No. This is the champions, the elite of the elite. You need to go up against the best to become the best. And Liverpool, maybe we'll do that in the round of 16, but decent performance, not something to get carried away by. Or shout out to Jeff saying, oh, Michael, you deluded. Are Liverpool now going to win the Champions League? They're definitely top 3 favorite, but I'm not going to certify myself and say, yeah, Liverpool, oh my God, look at this team. Nobody can touch them. They're just ice cold. Come on, man. Come on. But Lille, shout out to them, though. Still I really like this Lille team. I'm not going to go that crazy yet. Chelsea fans talking about other teams being boring. Pass was so good, Salah never needed to take a touch. No, he did not. Lille could have been a bit more brave because they were at Anfield. I understand why they were a bit more reserved. Now, to be fair, Zane, Lille have been that sort of team against Juventus, to Real Madrid, to Atleti. Lille have been more of a cautious team in the Champions League, but very deadly on the counterattack. But they needed Zagrova. If Zagrova was there, it could have been a different game. I will say that. Salah and Rafinha at the moment are the only players who always have a GA in every match, regardless if they play good or not. The way Mo Salah moves is so perfect. Everything from the way... Wow, that's a fantastic comment. FSG are greedy. They want to win games to earn money. Of course they do. Are you crazy? Of course FSG are like that. Liverpool Barca final would be dream. I don't know if I could handle that, though. I don't know if I could handle that at all. Remember, everybody, hit the like button. We're only 28 likes and we got 38 people watching. We should be minimum hitting 40 likes on the stream. So do that right now because the next game, the next game is bonkers. And Benfica fans, look away. Look away. This is not, I would say, the best game I have seen this season, but it was by far the most entertaining game. Do you guys agree? If you think this was the most entertaining game of this entire football season, put a 1 in the chat. Put a 2 if you disagree on which other game was more entertaining. Like, okay, if you want to talk about quality of football, no, it wasn't great. No, because there was a mistake from Szczesny, who decided instead of smoking red Marlboro, got some shisha, I don't know what he got in that cigarettes, because that was appalling from Szczesny. 2 mistakes. The one where he collides. I don't know if he had maybe a bet on the game, saying, okay, I'm going to try and score an own goal here. Collides with Balde. Szczesny doesn't need to come out for that ball. He's not going to get anywhere near it. Now the penalty, you could say Artukoglu kind of dived, but let's be honest. Artukoglu jumped over Szczesny. If he didn't jump over, that would have been a stonewall penalty as well. So, But Benfica, the fact that Pavlidis scored a hat trick should tell you everything about this game. That it was wild and made no sense possible because Pavlidis is not a great striker. Yeah, he's a decent striker, but he's another Arthur Cabral and these sort of signings that Benfica have been making in the last couple of years. He's not special. He got a hat trick. He got a hat trick. Like, what the fuck? And then Lewandowski got a couple penalties. Now, this comeback basically started because of a penalty. Now, Trubin, by the way, crazy goal to give up where he just says, here, Rafinha, you need a goal? You need a GA? Here's your GA right there. But I want to ask people. Now, I don't want to talk about penalties and this sort of stuff. Yes, the game was full of mistakes and poor mistakes, but I don't think that's a penalty to Lamine Yamal. I really don't. I think Carreras just put slightly his shoulder like this. He basically just did like this. And then Lamine Yamal fell down. I don't think it was a penalty whatsoever. But penalty was given. In VAR, if you have any touch on the player, if you drag him back a little bit, they're going to give the penalty. And then Eric Garcia, Pedri again, man. Pedri is unbelievable. Close to saying best midfielder in the world, and I might have to get there soon because his performances, I don't care about GA from a midfielder. I don't. But Pedri is just sensational. Just gets you those performances where you look at the last 10 minutes of the game, just dragging the midfield, dragging because Casado was pretty poor. Frankie de Jong came onto the field, was decent. But Pedri said, watch this performance. I'm going to drag my team through the monsoon in Lisbon and to win this game. And Pedri did that with that phenomenal cross into Eric Garcia. And then the final action of the game sums up everything about this match. Like, if you just want to sum up everything, the final 30 seconds where I think it was Lucas Barreiro who got dragged down. I don't remember which Barca player it was. Goes down, counterattack, Rafinha gets by Carreras, scores. Unbelievable scenes. That is just Champions League perfection right there, where you just watch the drama unfold, especially as a neutral. I'm just watching here like this, people watching on my computer. I'm like, that was my reaction. I could not believe what we were watching. I wish I would have done a watch along for the game. But is it going to be marred by the referee? A little bit, but I think you got to give also credit to Barcelona, because Barcelona could have easily said, nah, you know what, it's not our day. 4-2, we keep making mistakes, we got our own goal from Araujo, we give up, right? Benfica, there you go. That just take it on a golden plate, and here's your victory. But they threw it away also, Benfica. Like, Benfica fans can cry about the referee and all this stuff. You were 3-1 up and 4-2 up in the game. You cannot lose it under any circumstances whatsoever. So Benfica threw this game as well. And you saw, I think it was Bruno Lage who went onto the field, basically got the team in a huddle. Like, what was that manager at Hull City who did the same thing? But that was at halftime. This was at full time. So just the most chaotic game of this season. By far, people. And I think this is good for Barcelona to know we didn't play a good game and we still got it done. Like, Barcelona have had these horrible moments in the Champions League, to the AS Roma, to the Inter game at home. So many moments where you're just like, what is Barcelona doing here? But now, maybe they've changed. Maybe we're going to get back to that Barcelona that are a very dominant team in Europe. Do I still think they are Champions League favorites? Top 3, top 4? They are more favorites to win the Champions League than La Liga. I don't know what it is in the league. They just cannot really compete there because they're drawn to Getafe, they're losing to Leganés, they're losing to Las Palmas. But the Champions League, still a very dangerous team. You do not want to play Barcelona. That's why if I was Liverpool, seeing Rafinha and Lamine Yamal go up against Robertson and Trent, good Lord, I will pray the day before that game. But yeah, chaotic game. Benfica, you should be really pissed off that you lost that game because you should have really won it. And Barca, they don't care. They're going to take the 3 points and just say, we're going back. But they have a very tough game next week against Atalanta. If you're Bruno Lage, you have to know when to calm it down and preserve the lead. Exactly. Like, that's why I can understand Benfica fans' frustrations with, oh my God, we threw it away like this. But you lost the game. You lost the game and you had 2-goal lead on 2 occasions. Under any circumstances, you cannot lose it. No circumstances whatsoever. Big up Yarmo. I'm watching the Bologna Dortmund segment right now. Sorry to the Ajax fans that I had to remind you of that guy. Sorry I had to do that. Saw another view from it. Okay, I'll have to watch it back. But to be honest, Witty, that didn't look like a penalty. If Benfica had sat back in the second half, they would have won that match. Except, like, Di Maria also had a chance. Now, it might have been offside, but Danny Mekelele is not welcome to Croatia, I can tell you that. Pedri got the Thiago Alcantara vibes. Yeah, man, he's got every vibes, bro. Pedri is just sensational. Shout out Hansi Flick, because this version of Rafinha is level clear of when we see him at Leeds. No, I think Rafinha's always been like a baller, but just last season was so poor from him. I mean, just everything, the touch, the vision, everything was just off with Rafinha. But coaching, man, just shows you the level of coaching that Hansi Flick is doing compared to Xavi. Xavi was more, okay, tactical, maybe not great man manager, but Hansi Flick is like, here, Rafinha, you're captain. You got to show by example. And Rafinha is doing that this season. Oh, it's hilarious. I will always take a Champions League trophy than 3 La Ligas. See, as a Liverpool fan, this season specifically, give me the Premier League. Well, every other year, I want the Champions League. He went defensive in that moment. As a Barca fan, I knew he would come back. Fair enough. Weird how both Hincapié and Flamingo were centre-backs who scored and got a red card later in the game. This week is defined by centre-backs getting sent off and strikers Strikers are back, people. Strikers, people always want to cry about, oh, football is gone. Where's the strikers? Get rid of this false nine. Please follow football. The strikers, they might be returning soon. They might be returning soon, people. Benfica can't sit on leads. It's alien for them. They must be on the front foot. I get that. I get that, Zaire. But seriously, you're 4-2 up. 4-2 up with what? 12 minutes to go. And you can't win the game? Seriously? I don't care about Bruno Lage or Benfica heritage that you can't hold. You have to win the game. No questions about it. It's going to be awesome, though. Next week is Juventus Benfica. You know that game's going to end 1-1. You know it's going to end 1-1 right there. And I think, speaking of... Nope. All I'm going to say is, PSG, be careful. Because Stuttgart are back. They are back, people. They went through a little bit of a slump. A lot of injuries, of course. You know, Bilal Toure, I think he's out for the season, or he might be returning soon. He had a broken foot, so maybe he'll be back in April or May. I'm not too sure about that one, but Undorf is the key for this team. When Undorf is healthy, you just see a completely different Stuttgart team. And next week is Stuttgart PSG. I can bet you money Stuttgart might win that game. Because this team is just like, Sebastian Hoeneß's coaching is just phenomenal. The first goal from Stuttgart as well. Chris Furyk's little nice touch there to Undorf, and then he lays it off to Lehrling. Great goal. The second goal, and again, great passage of play from Stuttgart. They almost threw it away, though, because I don't know what's wrong with Slovan Bratislava. They just cannot defend, but their games are very entertaining. And Slovan Bratislava and Young Boys are trying to go for 007s here. They both are 007. Please tell me they're going up against each other in the final match that way. Give me a second. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, Slovan Bratislava are going to go 0-8. They're going away to Bayern Munich. They might hold 8 there, people. They might hold 8. Young Boys are hosting Crvena zvezda, so Young Boys might get the win here. Those are the only 2 teams that have not picked up any points in this Champions League. But yeah, look, Stuttgart are a very good team, and that's another team you don't want to play against because they create the chances. We saw it away to Juventus. Stuttgart dominated that game. It could have been 5-0 if they just had their shooting boots on. It's just the coaching that Sebastian Hoeneß does. It's just phenomenal. It's phenomenal with the likes of Furyk to Mittelstadt to Undorf to Lehrling. They're such a good team, and I wish Bilal Toure was healthy because that would have been amazing to see how he would have developed into this team. But heck, Stuttgart got a chance next week to maybe send PSG home because you're going to see at the end of this video with the standings. PSG are still not safe. They're still not safe. But yeah, shout out to Stuttgart. Great performance and a great team. Shout out to Luis Michael. What's up, man? Long time. Enjoying a pinchancha and wine here. Hey, man, life's good. Pinchancha. Wait, what is a pinchancha? Am I going crazy here? Pinchancha. What the heck is this? A cut of beef. Oh, my God. Oh, it's just like Brazilian steakhouse. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Yo. You got to send a photo of that. You got to send a photo of that. Hey, yeah, people, we got to start doing like the... Shout out to Macwell. Because Macwell does the videos, and now he shows photos of when people are watching his videos, the food and the drinks that he's eating. I got to do the same thing. I need to see what my people are eating or drinking while watching my videos or the streams. We might have to start doing that segment on my videos as well. I like that segment because I need to see what you guys are cooking up or what you're ordering. Right? Let's see if we got chefs in the Michael Talks football channel. Shout out to Hitman as well, man. I haven't seen you for a while, bro. Hopefully you're doing well. PSG will beat Stuttgart. We'll talk about that soon. This game was an atrocity. This might be the worst Champions League game this season. I'm not kidding. Shout out to Club Brugge. I have nothing negative to say about them because Club Brugge, can they do the unthinkable next week and knock out Man City out of this competition? Can they do? Like I've said this many times on the UCL reviews, they are the most underrated team in Europe. Yeah, they don't have the star names. You're looking at a team like with Zolis and Jutkla and Vanak, and you're like, come on, get out of here. Who are these guys? You watch them play. They're not a bad team. Organized, dangerous on the counterattack. Joel Ordonez is a beast. They just have so many good players on this Club Brugge team with the coaching. They are an exciting team. Look, this game was terrible to watch. I mean, the first half, I think there was no shots at all. Let me quickly check. I don't think there was any shots in the game. I was rewatching the game. I put it at 3 times speed. I got done with it. Oh my God. People, a grand total of 2 shots between both sides in the first half. 0 on target. Oh my God. The only opportunity that Juventus had in the entire game was Locatelli's long shot at the 85th minute. That's the only one. Like, Juventus were... Koop Miner's terrible. I mean, no Juventus player was good. I'm sorry, no Juventus player was good. They all had average to abysmal performances. Juventus need some sort of fire. They need Vlahovic next week. Juve got Benfica. They got Benfica next week. It's not looking good, man. It's just... What is the addiction with Thiago Motta and draws? What is this addiction? What is this... You need this sort of juice, like, to get you going. Like, come on, man. Just like some gym bro who needs creatine. It's a gym bro with creatine and it's Thiago Motta with draws. They just need to be combined to create some horrible thing. And that's like the football was. How can Juve go from a great performance against Milan, where they should have won the game 3-4-0, Timothy Weah cooking off the bench, to this? I mean, come on, Juventus. It's just not good enough. And Thiago Motta... Suni has to take some real criticisms here. Real criticism. But Club Brugge, I think they might get a draw next week. I really think they might get a draw. Like, I'll say it again. Joel Donestk is such a good player, man. Such a good defender. I would take him at a heartbeat at Liverpool. Jolis, good player. Only his first season with the club. And Van Aken is just... He's the UCL GOAT. He's the UCL GOAT for a reason. He's the UCL GOAT for a reason. But Juventus, man, they are just... Juve have the potential, like, people, what do you think in the chat if you're watching replay? What do you think is the potential for Juventus with this team? In my opinion, with the potential of this squad, you can make it to a quarterfinal. Is that difficult? Is that so difficult to ask for? You have guys like Vlahovic, to Yildiz, to Tura, to Kalulu, to Cambiasso, Di Gregorio, who's been a really good signing. I think their potential is quarterfinal. You watch them play, they might just get 0-0, 0-0, go to penalties, and advance or lose at this rate. Like, Thiago Motta, I understand you got to be a bit defensive. You got to control the games. You got to be a bit more brave. It's the Champions League. Come on, man. You got to be a bit more brave. You're under some great teams as a player. But as a manager, he's just too safe. He's got to take risks. You're at Juventus now. You're at Juve. Juve don't just settle for draws. It's about the victories. And it's not looking good right now. Big up Umar Jolo. Shout out to you. And yeah, Brugge are going to be difficult. Thank you, Anthony. Thank you for the kind donation, buddy. Really, really appreciate it. This is why I give Juventus the nickname Joventus.
I love this game.
It's bad, Anthony. It's really bad right now for Juventus. I like the team, but it's just... Now, the game was terrible, though, from their perspective. But big up. Thank you for the kind donation. Really, really appreciate it. And if we can get to 40 likes, people, that's the most important thing. As now we go to yesterday's games, and we had a lot of drama yesterday as well. Finally, we went back to Shaktar Donetsk heritage, people. We went back to Shaktar Donetsk heritage because I saw 5 Brazilians starting for them. 5! And their record signing Kevin scored a great goal, by the way. Great goal. Because also Sudakov, baller. Baller. Gets the penalty. Sudakov is a baller. He should be playing at a team like Girona next season, to Real Sociedad, maybe go to Ajax or something. Sudakov, guy's a gem. He's a gem. But I saw heritage. I saw Brazilians starting, mixed in with the Ukrainians, and I saw good football from Shaktar. Stade Brestois. Did they even play in that first half? They were overrun and you know, Stade Brestois are the cute story. Shout out to Stade Brestois. Honestly, it's amazing that they're even in this Champions League and that they will be playing in the knockout round. But yesterday they looked like a bottom 3 side of the Champions League. They were horrendous. Okay, yeah, they showed up in the second half, but it wasn't good enough. And Lassina Traore had a great chance to make this game 3-0. But Shaktar Donetsk, finally they showed some heritage of themselves with the Brazilians, and they played really good football. I don't know where all of these Brazilians have been at. Yeah, okay, I saw some of them have been starting on the bench in the Champions League games, but start them all. Now, Stade Brestois, I don't think they're going to make it out of the knockout round. I really don't. I think they're going to find it very difficult. They are a very organized team, and they've been maybe fortunate with the schedule they've had. They played the likes of Sparta Praha to Sturm Graz. Yeah, okay, they got the draw against Bayer Leverkusen, but I think they've kind of been fortunate with their schedule. And yesterday, I thought, you're playing Shaktar Donetsk. This is a great opportunity to make it to the top 8, and yet they lost, and they didn't play well at all. I just wonder if it's just the hectic schedule, balancing both the League on with the Champions League. Maybe could have affected it, but give credit to Shaktar. They finally played a good game, and they got the victory. They really should have won away to PSV. If they won that PSV game away, plus this result, Shaktar would be ahead of Man City. That's the crazy part of this all. And Real will beat Brest, but it will be close. Yeah, that's the last game. Stade Brestois at home to Real Madrid. I mean, what an amazing achievement for Stade Brestois to get it to this situation. And they're playing Real Madrid, but it's going to be tough, man. It's going to be very, very difficult for them to get it over the line. The other early game was Sporting. Now, Sporting fans, I need to understand. This is a game you have to win, right? You got to win this game. Why on earth am I seeing Gyökeres on the bench? And I saw he was on the bench as well over the weekend. Inacio on the bench. Morita on the bench. I'm like, wait, this can't, no. This can't be right. You have to win this game. You have to, and yet they're all on the bench? You're going up against RB Leipzig, who have not won a single game. A single game. They've been an atrocity. You should have given them a 007. Yet, Sporting didn't show up in the first half. Benjamin Sesko gets the only goal of the first half. But then, I mean, the second half, yeah. As soon as your star player gets onto the field, alongside the likes of Morita, then Sporting started to look a little bit more dangerous. But, I mean, come on. Like, I really need to just understand. Is he dealing with an injury or just resting for what? You have to win this game for Sporting. Sporting are now going down the table. Let me look at where they're at right now in the standings, because they ain't looking good. 23rd. Sporting are... Remember when Sporting were like second or third? Now they're 23rd. I mean, just shows you how ridiculous this table is. When you only lose a couple of games, you dramatically drop down. That's not great. They are in danger still of missing out on the next round. If they lose their game to Bologna, if Man City win, Stuttgart draw, Sporting are out. That would be a shock to me because, yeah, they've been playing decent football still under the new manager, Rui Borges, but you cannot lose to RB Leipzig. Okay, the second goal as well, like, you get back into the game, Gyökeres with a fantastic finish. Fantastic finish. And yet then, you throw it away like that after such poor defending, and you allow, was it Yusuf Poulsen? Okay, it was a scrappy goal to get over the line. But come on. It was just abysmal from Sporting's perspective. The whole entire game. Okay, so he was carrying an injury. Fair enough. If he was carrying an injury, can understand that. But the performance wasn't good. I mean, I guess they're missing the likes of Pedro Gonzalez, which is understandable because he's a very key player for them. But that was not a good performance from Sporting. The fact that you allowed this RB Leipzig team, who also, over the weekend, had a 3-0 lead over Bochum and threw it away. Threw it away. RB Leipzig should be losing every single game in the Champions League because they are not a good team this season. Yet Sporting said, there you go. Here's a victory for you. Realistically winning, or at least getting a point, and yet you lose. Abysmal. Big up to Captain Deadpool says Brian Priske is 99% confirmed to be fired. Really? Okay, we're going to talk about that soon. Well, actually, let me start this. Shout out to Captain Deadpool. Thank you for that. Yeah, it didn't work out, no. I mean, he's a very good center back, very talented, but midfield, Morita should be starting. We'll talk about that soon. RB Leipzig just have the worst draw in this new format. I would say that PSG have had the worst draw. And then you could put RB Leipzig there, yeah. Oh my God. Okay, whoa. We're going to move on from that. Whoa. We're going to move on from that. Man said washed and fit. Oh my God. Okay, Arsenal 3-0 victory. I mean, is there anything grandioso to say about Arsenal winning this game? It's Dinamo Zagreb. It's their first game under Cannavaro. Cannavaro is their manager, by the way. They had a bit of a break. Didn't look great in this game. Dinamo Zagreb. Okay, Arsenal. Yeah, look, Arsenal did their job. Kai Havertz got a goal. That's good. Declan Rice looking very good. I think Declan Rice has actually been really good the last 3 games, I would say, for Arsenal. Ødegaard getting a goal. So, perfect evening. Professional performance. Look, Arsenal are a good team. Do I think they can win the Champions League? No, I don't. Because I don't think they have enough firepower. See, in the Champions League, Okay, you're beating the sides like Dinamo Zagreb, to Shaktar Donetsk. They have a very good defense. Take nothing away. Arsenal have one of the best defenses in Europe. But you need an attack in the Champions League. You need that sort of same difference maker, right? You need difference makers like a Salah, like a Barcola, for example, yesterday, like a Rafael Leao, like a Vini. You need these sort of players. Arsenal don't have that. Okay, Saka, unbelievable. Let's see how he's going to be after that injury. We'll see how he performs. But take nothing away. Arsenal got the easy victory, 3-0, comfortable. Dinamo Zagreb offered nada. And now Dinamo Zagreb, I think they're hosting Milan the final game, and they need to win it, if I'm not mistaken. I think they need to win that final game. Let me quickly check, because they still got a chance, Dinamo Zagreb. Okay, so Dinamo Zagreb need to win. But they've slipped recently. Lost to Dortmund, drew at home to Celtic. That's the game they should have won. I remember they really had to win that game. So yeah, I think Arsenal, yes, they're going to beat sides like Dinamo Zagreb and Shaktar. What do you want me to say? Oh my God, yes, Arsenal, scary, dangerous. Same thing for Liverpool. I expect Liverpool to beat Lille. That's what I'm not going to say. Lille, Liverpool, scary, dangerous. No, come on. Relax. Arsenal, very good team. I just don't think they have enough to win the Champions League, though. If they made let's say, a January transfer window signing, they signed like Gyökeres. Okay, no, Arsenal. I'll sit up on my seat and say, now you're cooking. Now you're cooking. But I just don't think they will have enough. Their defense is going to have to be super elite to win this Champions League. Super elite. Do they have that? I think they have a good defense. We'll see how Saliba is going to look after return. I think they play Girona the last game. Yeah, Girona last game. But yeah, Arsenal, good performance. Still think they're a very good team. Dinamo Zagreb, I think they're out. I think they're very much out of this draw. Michael, last season, the top leagues, Germany, Italy, and Spain, had 5 teams qualifying for the Champions League. Is that going to be the same this season? No, Spain had 4. No, it was only Italy and Germany. This year, it's going to be England and Italy. They will get the 5 spots this year. They will get the 5 spots. In my opinion, as a Barca fan, Šeško would be a phenomenal striker for us, even more than Isak. He is fast, can carry the ball, tall, good on both feet, but unfortunately, FFP and Tebas tax. And also Laporta giving you this belief that everything's okay financially. I don't think everything's okay financially with Barca. Would Šeško be a great signing? 100%. Šeško would be unbelievable, I think, for Barcelona. He misses a lot of chances, but I think he would be unbelievable. But FFP, sadly. Yeah, I would agree with that. Arsenal will struggle against better teams. I can see them. I think also too. I can see Arsenal making it to the semifinals. I do, but that's where they might fumble. Dinamo will beat Milan. Osimhen. Why can't Arsenal get Santi, bro? After that Bayern performance, why not grab him out of it? Is non-existent. Okay, let's say that. Let's say if Arsenal signed Santi Jimenez, would you say they can be favorites for the Champions League or win the Champions League? What do you think, people? I like Santi. I think Santi is a good player, but is he really like at the level of Osimhen to Gyökeres to other players like Lautaro? No, I don't think Santi is at that level yet. Maybe Santi can get to that level. Who knows? Obviously, we'll talk about Santi Jimenez more when we talk about the Feyenoord game, but I think it would be a bit of a risk. And maybe you're having too much like hype and potential, and you're just praying that he just turns into gold like that. But other than Saka, look, Martinelli, decent performance yesterday. Martinelli's performances have gone better, I would say, but I just think Martinelli's just too inconsistent. Same thing with Trossard. Trossard, great game against Tottenham to the Aston Villa game, but then he'll put up stinkers. You cannot trust any of these forwards except for Saka. That's the only one you can have trust in. Something needs to play in a top 5 league first. Well, Eredivisie close to a top 5 league. It's close to it. Well, shout out to Celtic, man. They have made it to the knockout round. I did predict them to make it to the knockout round, people. I did predict it. They finally did it. I'm so happy for all my Celtic people out there because I remember when they were losing to Cluj from Romania. Was it Ferencváros from Hungary? They were losing to all these sides, right? Celtic couldn't even qualify to the group stage of the Champions League for many, many years. But now they are into the knockout round. Have they been benefit of a pretty, would you say favorable schedule? Yeah, but they did beat the likes of RB Leipzig. They got a point away to Atalanta. So yes, I think Celtic are a good team, but they're not going to go far in this Champions League. But the most important thing is they got to make it to the knockout round. They got now with this new format a belief, and now the roar from Celtic Park yesterday. Well, on 4 occasions actually, because they had 2 disallowed offside goals, 1 for a foul, 2 for offside, and then they get the goal. And it was a crazy own goal as well. But shout out to Kasper Schmeichel, made an incredible double save. An incredible double save to keep Celtic in this game. Because if Celtic lost this game, no, then they would have been screwed. Then they would have not made it to the knockout round, I think, because they're going away to Aston Villa next week. But what an unbelievable sort of just campaign for them. It's just like you hear Celtic and you're like, oh, okay, they're going to get destroyed. And they did get destroyed by Dortmund earlier this season, 7-0. But they have learned from that. They have learned from that lesson, saying, hey, we cannot get now embarrassed anymore in Europe. We need to now show some pride and show that Celtic football is here. And Celtic football is slowly returning. Now, I'm intrigued to see who Celtic go up in that knockout round. If they go up against like a Juventus, hey, Celtic got a chance because you can't trust Juventus. But shout out to Celtic. Decent performance. I don't think it was amazing. Furuhashi a little bit inconsistent with his chances. To Maeda a little bit consistent with his chances. But they get the victory nonetheless. Although I did just see reports that Furuhashi might be leaving the club to Stade. Who are they going to replace him? Okay, maybe Adam Ida is the guy, but Furuhashi is a very good player. So I would kind of be sad if he left Celtic, especially that they're going into the knockout round. But take nothing away. Brendan Rodgers has done a very good job. Not my cup of tea when it comes to managers, but you got to give massive credit to him as a manager, learning from the mistakes of the Dortmund game to now. And also, I think the signing of Kasper Schmeichel brings that sort of experience in the defense that they needed with alongside the likes of Justin to Trusty to Carter Vickers. Now their defense looks a bit more solid, and it was just about the attack getting that crucial goal. It was very late yesterday, but nonetheless, they get the win. And young boys, they're going for 007. Oh, please just get a victory next week, please. I don't want to talk about any team getting 0 victories in this new format. Slovan Bratislava is going to do that. That was kind of expected. Young boys can't do that. They got Crvena Zvezda at home. Come on, young boys. You got to win the game. You got to win the game. Come on. Come on, guys. All right, let's see what you people are saying. Laporta isn't bad, but he over-exaggerates. Yeah, he definitely over-exaggerates. Today, Donestk confirmed Barca makes 760, and that's without our stadium. Well, there we go. But the stadium is not going to be ready soon, apparently. Michael, for the CL knockout stages, will the teams be seeded in the draw in this new format? They'll be seeded, but there's a draw. So I'll kind of show you how it's going to work out at the end of this stream. Celtic will make the playoffs and meet a tough playoff team. Yeah, I agree. I don't care who wins it. Celtic Villa will be a draw. Yep. Started and they fell off hard. Yeah, well, I mean, what do you expect? It's Jorge Sampaoli as manager. The dude is just a tattooed Argentinian. Nothing else. Oh boy. Was this a case of, you put a 1 if this is the case, PSG being amazing, or 2, Man City being dreadful? Which one do you think it is, people? Do you think it's 1, PSG being amazing, or 2, Man City awful? I think I'm going to go with more that PSG were amazing. Yes, they capitalized on Manchester City making mistakes, but PSG, we have always said, oh my God, PSG will bottle it in the big moments in the Champions League. But yesterday, showed some character, played good football. I thought they were amazing. I thought, like, the first half was a bit, I wouldn't say cagey, but it was just lacking that sort of end product. Like, especially Savinho had a decent chance, Donnarumma making a good save, KDB having a half chance. PSG, yeah, they got it to the final third. All PSG were just doing in that game yesterday was foreplay in the first half. Foreplay. They couldn't get it done. But then the second half happened, and it was just basically 2 lackluster defending goals from PSG's perspective. Like Jack Grealish, a little bit of a bouncy goal where it just deflects. Jack Grealish is there, instant impact. There you go. Then the second goal for Man City. I mean, Matheus Nunes has nobody. I mean, Matheus Nunes was just going through the Pacific Ocean and then said, okay, let's play it out wide. Back post to Haaland. Another deflection off, I think it was João Neves. João Neves then to Haaland, and it was a goal, 2-0. And I thought, oh, it's done. I honestly thought when it got to 2-0, finito. Because when was the last time, please people, when was the last time PSG had a crazy comeback like this in Europe? When was the last time? Because you say to me, Michael, Barcelona game. Barcelona were down to 10 men. Right? And then it went to extra time? Did it go to extra time? I think it did. Am I going crazy? Did it go to extra time that game last season between PSG and Barca? Or was it full time and then Mbappe? Anyways, PSG haven't really had a comeback like this. And then just the skill, the physicality, the speed of play they had. PSG, the last 30 minutes, were cooking Man City. Fully Parisha cooking. They got it. They got the brisket on the grill and just said, here, we're going to cook this for 8 hours and it's just going to be delectable at the end. The goals they scored, like Barcola, phenomenal. Phenomenal game in that second half. First half, a little bit quiet, but the second half, boom. Barcola showed up and he had a great second half cameo. That move he did on Matheus Nunes. I felt bad for Matheus Nunes. That guy is not a right back. Oh, you got Kyle Walker. Okay, yeah, Kyle Walker is finished. Oh, he's gone to Milan. So, who's the right back option? Who can play right back? Can Akanji? Yeah, Akanji, you can play right back, right? Okay, go there. John Stones obviously coming back from injury. Maybe he could have started. It was a little bit difficult, but Barcola cooked him. Dembele gets the goal. Then Barcola gets the goal. Desiree Doué off the crossbar. Boom. Now, this, we need to show though, people. We need to show this. This is appalling. Give me a second here, people. Give me a second. Like, how? Like, look at where João Neves is. João Neves is all the way in the back post. I wish I had some paint or something to show you where João Neves is. João Neves is wide open. Like, who from Man City is marking him? Who? But that just shows you. They had no leaders on the field. Ruben Diaz was subbed off. I think he had an injury or maybe just fatigue. No leaders. Nobody communicating. Hey, you. There. Hey, you pick him up. You pick him up. You pick him up. There was no communication. They're like, what are PSG going to do from here? João Neves. Although João Neves had a chance in the first half with a header. Like, this is just appalling defense. Like, this is not coaching or anything. This is just from the players. Take your man. Take a man. Or if you do zonal marking, getting a zone. There's no defending in this. This is just straight up disaster. And João Neves, one of the shortest players on the field. The dude is everywhere on the field. Physical, very good aerially. Just, I love João Neves. I've always loved him, even at Benfica. Great performances at the Euros. Showing up for PSG. Great header. And then the final goal from Gonzalo Ramos. But like this cannot be allowed if you're Man City. Cannot be allowed. That's the thing, right? We could say, oh, lack of DM. Where's Rodri? That's just basic defending right there from a set piece. Basic. If PSG are scoring that sort of goal, what do you think Arsenal's going to do against them on set pieces? It might be a mess. Although I think, Gabriel scored in their Premier League game earlier this season. So Arsenal might score a couple of headed goals in that fixture. I think that's next weekend, if I'm not mistaken. But I think Man City, they're not winning the Champions League. No way. No way. Come on. Like, if anybody says Man City are going to win the Champions League, it's delusional. Really is delusional because you look at this team, they got the individual stars. They just signed Marmoush, even though maybe Marmoush might not even play in the Champions League this season. But it's just the defense is not going to keep a clean sheet. You can score 6 past the tractor boys in the Premier League. You can beat a Wolves. You can beat these sort of teams. But when you go up against the top teams in Europe, Man City can't do that for this season at least. Next season, they'll be back. But they need a DM because Kovacic can't play that role. Bernardo Silva doesn't have the legs. You can just see this team needs a refresh. They need to go into the lab, get the money, refresh, come back next season. Then Man City, we're going to see a dominant Man City again. That's why if you're any team, you got to win the Champions League this season. You got to win the Premier League this season. FA Cup, you got to win this season because Man City will be back next year. For this season, though, what do you think, people? Do you think Man City's out? They're playing Club Brugge next week. We already discussed Club Brugge are a difficult team to play against. They got some individual talents. But you would still expect Manchester City at home to beat Club Brugge. All Man City have to do is just get the win. Even if Man City get a draw, then they're out. So what do you think, people? Put a 1. Do you think Man City are out of the Champions League? Or put a 2, they're going to beat Club Brugge and keep their campaign alive? It's tough, but yeah, got to give massive credit to PSG. I think, yes, they got the talent, and yes, they are spending money, but we always criticize this side for not showing up. They showed up, and they played a great game. Now, they're not out of this, though. They could still get eliminated from the Champions League. They're going away to Stuttgart. That ain't an easy game. And I don't think... Okay, they went away to RB Salzburg and won. Okay, that doesn't count, because RB Salzburg are not a football team at the moment. They're just a sideshow at the moment with the way things are operating in the background. But PSG still got to get at least a point in that game. I think I did see if they get a point, if they actually draw the game Stuttgart and PSG, they'll both advance. So we might see a Germany-Austria 1982 World Cup reimagined in that matchup. But yeah, shout out to PSG. Great performance. I thought João Neves to Vitinha, unbelievable. Nuno Mendes, even though he got the early yellow card, great performance from him. And yeah, PSG got the talent. They just need to be more consistent. Even without a striker, this team played good football. But that's been hampering this season, that they play good against, PSV. They play good against Atleti. They don't get the victories. They don't, because they were not clinical in those games. Yesterday, super clinical, deserved victory. Man City, abysmal. Are they going to go through? Time will tell. Time will tell. Let's see what you people are saying in the chat. Shout out to everybody. We got 52 of you in the house. Remember to hit the like button if you haven't done so already. Let's get to 50 likes. 50 likes. 50 likes. Let's see here. Big up, nice and funny. As a Milan fan, seeing these links to something, knowing we're on signing him is painful. We'll talk about that soon. Man City choked. Yep. That's now twice this season, by the way. Twice. That Man City 3-0 up against Feyenoord, bottle it. 2-0 up against PSG, bottle it. That's not a Manchester City team. Man City are clearly not a team they have been over the past few seasons. It's reflected in their Premier League results. They need a new injection of youthful players. That's why you look at their transfer window. Marmoush, Kuznov, Vitor Reis. They're going for younger players. They know they need a refresh. They know it. Against Atalanta in 2020, where Moting saved them. Yeah, that was the comeback. Marquinhos getting the first goal and then Choupo-Moting getting the second one. Yeah, maybe that's their last one. Better than City this season. I mean, if you look at the Champions League, PSG, yeah, they played good football, but they have not been that team. We'll talk about that soon. Why are we acting like PSG didn't have the talent to cause this upset? No, we're not. T-Cam, we're not saying that they don't have the talent, but we've always criticized PSG. Always under this Qatari ownership. When the bright lights hit this team, they sink. Now, they rose to the challenge. And it's not even that they beat them. They dominated Man City. Except for those 2 goals. They dominated them. City, even with the reinforcements, won't make it past the quarterfinals. It's going to be interesting, man. If Man City do not make the knockout playoff round, wow. What's your prediction for the UCL win? We'll talk about that later. Big up to Lokin. How you doing? Club Brugge will win. I think they're going to make it barely. I think so too. Shout out to Guna Forever. 1 City out. Big up Honesty. Put some respect on my city, Feyenoord, Rotterdam. We'll talk about Feyenoord soon. We'll talk about them soon. Desiree Douay, he will be a great player in the future. See, this is the thing though. If PSG make it to the knockout playoff round, what would you guys say would be the front 3 then? Do you think Kvara on the left wing, maybe Barcola down the middle, and then obviously Dembele on the right? How would you see the PSG front 3 in the knockout playoff round? Because you kind of look at it, you're like, okay, yeah, get a player like Kvara, unbelievable talent, highly rate him, but you look at the performances of Barcola yesterday, like, but that's the thing. Barcola had a good performance yesterday, but in all of the Champions League games, he hasn't been showing up. So it's going to be fascinating to see what happens. Street keeps on lagging. Really? Wait, let me check it out. Shout out. Thank you, CJ. Let me just quickly check that. Is it lagging for you people? Let me know. I'll check on my phone if it's lagging. See, this is the... looks to be okay to me. Okay, maybe not. Okay, maybe yes. It seems to be okay, CJ. If it's lagging, please let me know. Let me know your thoughts. Give out in the 10. They will do like Real when they play no real striker. Could see that. Definitely could see that. Yeah. Crazy game though. PSG insane comeback, and I think they deserve to win the game. How many? Okay. Inter have now scored 8 goals in the Champions League, conceded 1 goal. They have won 1-0 over Young Boys, 1-0 over Arsenal, 1-0 over RB Leipzig, 1-0 over Sparta Praha. I think there was a 3-0 victory over Crvena Zvezda in there. Look, they didn't play great yesterday, Inter. They actually fielded a really strong 11. But the thing is, you still don't want to play this team. They got the defense to go up against most teams. Like, you look at the defense of Inter in the Champions League compared to Serie A, 2 different teams. It's really 2 different teams. But Lautaro, what a goal, man. That finish he had from Bastoni's pass, oh my God, ridiculous. Fratesi having a decent chance, to Dumfries having a couple of decent chances. I thought, okay, it was a comfortable Inter performance. It's nothing like spectacular or like, oh my God, 4-0 Inter, they're going to win the Champions League. No. But still, you do not want to play this team. It's similar to Atalanta. I would even throw Arsenal in there. You don't want to play these teams. Defensively solid. They got the difference makers. Some of them have the difference makers in this team. And they're going to keep getting these 1-0 victories. They're going to keep getting these 1-0 victories and get to the top 8 finish. And I think, I can't remember who Inter's last game is against next week. Let me quickly check that. Who's Inter's last game next week? Monaco. Actually, pretty tough game. Pretty tough game for Inter. I think that's a good matchup for them. But look, easy performance. Nothing spectacular to write about. You just say, hey, we got the 1-0 victory, move on. That's what they do in this Champions League season so far. Now, if it's a high-scoring game, so I think Inter, you know what would be a fascinating matchup? Would be Barca against Inter. Oh, I would pay big money to see that, because this Barca team is different compared to when they've previously met up in the Champions League a couple of seasons ago. Because that Barca team was a mess. Piqué was center back. Ugh. So I think this, if there was an Inter-Barca matchup, oh my God, that would be awesome settings to see. And look, Inter might just go throughout this Champions League campaign and just get 1-0, 1-0, and then get like a cheeky 2-0 in there. But they're a good team. Lautaro is finding form, and that's the most important thing. Lautaro has to be in form for Inter to win this Champions League. If he's not in form, Inter are not winning the Champions League. But now, he's in form, so watch out. And I thought Bastoni had a pretty good game. Sommer made a pretty good save in the first half from Sparta Praha. And Sparta Praha, after that first 2 games where they had 4 points, have lost every single game. Every single game. So, yeah, not great for Sparta Praha. And we'll see what happens in the next game for Inter. If Inter score more than a goal, celebrate it. Celebrate it. Look, easy victory here. Madrid said, oh, we got 5 pieced by Barca. We'll score 4 against Las Palmas. We'll score 5 against RB Salzburg. Look, good performance. Rodrigo scored that second goal from Rodrigo, by the way, people. That back heel no look from Bellingham was disgusting. Literally disgusting how good of a assist it was. And Rodrigo, great finish first time. It's RB Salzburg. They are a disaster. They're not going to put up a fight. They're not a good team at the moment. Trust me, people. Look at my video that I talked about downfall of RB Salzburg. They are not a good team. Yeah, they beat Feyenoord, which was really a weird game, because I'm like, Feyenoord, how did you not win that game? And you allow RB Salzburg to score 3 goals. So, but the front 3 got the goals. Vinny, Mbappe, even though it was a mistake from the goalkeeper. And Vinny, that second goal, by the way, where he stole the defender on his left foot. So yeah, Madrid had a good game. We saw Valverde in the right back position. No, it's cool. Yeah, it's cool. But it's RB Salzburg at the end of the day. You cannot get carried away with this performance. But I wonder, what is Carlo going to do in the knockout rounds? Is he going to play Valverde at the right back position and then keep Ceballos and Camavinga in the midfield position? Because Lucas Vazquez is a liability. He is a liability. But now you're seeing this team, especially the attack, is cooking right now. So, dangerous, dangerous team. Like, when Madrid find this form, I still think the defense, the only way Madrid are going to win this Champions League, outscore every opponent. Now, do they have the attacking firepower to do that? 100%. But that defense will be their life. I mean, Courtois is going to have to go truly Oliver Kahn 2002 World Cup vibes until the final. Because, obviously, the final, Oliver Kahn messed it up for Germany. But Courtois is going to have to go insane. because that defense will not keep a clean sheet. And you're allowing RB Salzburg to score. I mean, it was 5-0 at the point, but still, you allowed them to score. Come on, really, really. But Rodrigo just always, the guy always shines. When he hears the champions, the dude shows up. That second goal, though, was ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous from him. All right, we got a couple more games to go through, people. Milan 1-0, comfortable. Now, earlier this season, all right, somebody sent me a video of a content creator. I'm not gonna name and shame the person. I will not do that. That is their opinion. I respect their opinion. But somebody did say that Garnacho is better than Rafael Leao. Now, I would write a letter to The Hague and saying, can we prosecute this person for horrific crimes committed? But I will not do that. I will be a fair man. I will keep my mouth quiet and just say, Rafael Leao is simply amazing. Anybody who doubts this guy doesn't watch him. All they just see is that one-off game who said, oh my God, Rafael Leao is terrible. He's just overhyped. His career is finished. Not naming name of content creators. Come on. So Rafael Leao is really that guy. He is unbelievable. You see that performance yesterday and you're like, this dude is just like, okay, maybe he doesn't get you always the GA. Give me the goals and assists. Yeah. Why do we watch football, people? Why do we watch football? For enjoyment, entertainment. You don't watch Modern Family because it's a drama series. You watch Modern Family because it's a comedy show and Phil is hilarious on the channel. No, you don't watch the old school Fast and Furious and you're like, oh my God, what a romantic movie. No, you're there to watch entertainment from the cars. No, you watch football to be entertained. Rafael Leao, entertainer, footballer. If this guy, honestly, yes, you can be a little bit critical and say, Rafael Leao, do this in the World Cup Euros. I can agree with that. You got to really show up in those big games. But the guy has all the talent. And I think now, with Conceição as the manager, I think we're going to see a different Leao. We're going to see a better version of Leao compared to when they won the Scudetto in the 21-22 season. I think we're going to see that right now. The only problem for Milan is now Emerson Royal got injured, so they can't transfer him, which is going to suck for Milan because they really need to get rid of him because he's abysmal. Pavlovic is a good player. Actually, I thought he had a really good game yesterday. Not great on the ball. Benacer, I thought that was his best game since coming back from injury. They need a striker. They desperately need a striker. So, do they pay the big money and get Santi? Let me see if there's any updates on this Santi situation. Because, what do you think, people? Do you think if Santi goes to Milan, that is a good transfer? I think for all parties, that would be a best transfer. I don't see any more updates on it. I haven't even seen Fabrizio talked about it. So, okay, wait. So Milan are already in negotiations for Santiago Jimenez and will have to pay between 35-40 million to convince Feyenoord to sell him. What do you think, people? Put a 1. Do you think Santi to Milan is a good transfer? Put a 2 and say, don't do it, Milan. Milan need him, though, because you look at Morata. The guy is not a striker. Just, you know what you do if you're Milan? You sell Morata to Saudi, or sell him to Qatar, or sell him to MLS. Because Alvaro Morata is just, we could have told you, don't make that transfer. Don't make that transfer. It's not going to work. Same with Emerson Royal. Like, you look at Milan's management knows they effed up over the summer because we've seen rumors of Pavlovic leaving, to Emerson Royal leaving. We know they effed up. The board admits it. Okay, so if they can get a Santiago Jimenez, I think that would be a good point from this management team. Young striker, really scoring the goals in the Eredivisie. He's not quick. He doesn't have the greatest dribbling. Gets you goals. That's what this Milan team needs. They just need a gunman. They haven't had a pure good striker. Okay, other than Giroud since... Okay, maybe... No, Carlos Bacca that one season when they were in the Banter era. Strikers. That Milan were really good. But they haven't had a great striker. Maybe Santi can be that great striker that this Milan team needs. But they are a dangerous team. I think the attack is cooking. Oh, really? Now we're lagging again, people? I think we're good here. Okay, we're back. I don't know what's going on with the internet. Sorry, people. Really, really apologize. Hopefully it's now working better. I don't think Marcus Rashford. People say Marcus Rashford. Don't get Marcus Rashford. Now, Girona again. Architects of their own downfall. What is it with this team? Why? Like, please just sign some good players, Girona. Please. I cannot bear to watch Brian Hill. I cannot bear to watch Abdel Ruiz, whatever his name is. I cannot bear to watch these guys. Girona, they have some good players. You know what Girona should do? They should go sign the Nene from RB Salzburg. That would be a good transfer. Go sign a striker. Well, you know what? You go sign Zudakov as well. I would love to see Zudakov and Yasser Asprilla on the same team. Okay, Girona, I'm tuning back in. They play good football. They play out from the back. Michel is a very good player, but they're just such a liability. I mean, Milan, if they had a more clinical front three, they would have won that game 3-4-0. It would have been done and dusted. 1-0 is a flattering scoreline. Yeah, Girona had their chances, but this is not that same Girona team. I'm just more intrigued. I think Milan can actually make it to a quarterfinal, semifinal. Right now, where are they at in the Champions League? Where are they at? I think they're in the top 8, if I'm not mistaken. Milan are 6th. How are Milan 6th here? Like, I watched their performance against Crvena zvezda to Club Brugge. Milan weren't great, but yet they're in the top 8. So I think they kind of got unfortunate with their schedule, but take nothing away. Leao is that guy. He will always be that guy. He is a sensational player for me. Big up, Anthony. Thank you for the kind donation again. Really, really appreciate it, Anthony. Thanks for supporting the channel. Glad that we got the 3 points against Girona, but we need a striker up top at Milan, Mike. I don't know if we will get Santi. Look, if this board is serious, if this management clearly cares about the future, because this is now a future thing. You want to keep fans happy. You want to keep selling tickets. You want the Champions League money. Cardinale and this management. Zlatan. You got to sign somebody like Santi. Because they're not going to get a guy like Yildiz or Alexander Isak. But I think Santi is a good striker as well. So go sign him. The dream signing for me, for Milan, would be Yildiz or Šeško. Because they're not like crazy money. But I still don't think it's a viable thing to do. But Santi, maybe that's a good transfer. And now we're going to talk about Santi. But yeah, good. I think it was still a good performance. They needed a bounce back because what we saw from Milan against Juventus was an atrocity. That was not good football. Nobody really fighting for the kit. Yesterday was better. Much, much better. So, look, Milan are going to make it to the knockout playoff round, and we'll see what happens then. Yeah, that's a smart signing too. Jonathan David on a free, just depending on what wages he wants. And then the final game. Wow. 3-0. 3-0 Feyenoord. This I did not see happening because Feyenoord have been inconsistent recently in the Eredivisie, and they've lost to the likes of RB Salzburg. They got a bounce back game against they had the crazy comeback against Man City 3-0. They obviously lost to Bayern Leverkusen 4-0. Like, they've been such a weird team, Feyenoord, in the Champions League. But they got some decent players. Who was missing? Hartmann is injured. I think Timber's brother is injured. So they were missing some key players. I think Zerouki was out injured as well. I don't remember seeing Zerouki. Was Zerouki on the bench for them? Because I know he didn't start. Oh, wow. Zerouki's not even there. Jalen Mitchell came onto the field. Shout out to the Costa Rican. He hasn't had a lot of minutes, but he played pretty good. I think this game more is on Bayern Munich. I mean, the defending for all 3 goals. Kim Min-jae, you have to do better. Santi Jimenez, ridiculous finish. I mean, ridiculous. And maybe a little bit of a fortunate touch to take it with him on stride, but ridiculous finish from Santi. But the penalty, like Guerrero, what are you doing? Like, it's just stupidity. You don't need to make that challenge. The player's going nowhere. Just stand up, face the player. Instead, he's like, no, let's give a penalty here. Let's give 2-0. That's just stupidity from Guerrero. Get it to 2-0 with Santi. And then the third goal, great play from Santi. And then Ueda with the golazo to get it to 3-0. Obviously now Ueda's back healthy. Santi's back healthy. That's good for Feyenoord. But this game is more on Bayern Munich. I mean, the lack of finishing was an atrocity. Now, Bilio, the goalkeeper, that was probably his best game ever. I mean, some of the saves he was making from the Kane chance in the first half to the Musiala header in the second half. Bilio was outstanding. That was his best game by far. And Feyenoord, maybe they got fortunate, but guess what? It don't matter. You get the 3 points. Rotterdam is a port city. You go get the cruise ship or one of the vessels out there. You bring it to De Kuip, you park it, and you get the victory. And that's exactly what they did. But Bayern Munich, why do they keep doing this in the Champions League? They lose away to Aston Villa. They get destroyed away to Barcelona. They get destroyed away to Feyenoord. Okay, their only away victory in the Champions League entirely is Shaktar Donestk in Germany. So that's not even an away game. It's another home game. So I just don't get it with this Bayern team. They play good football. Defensively, they just make individual mistakes, whether it's Upamecano, to Kim Min-jae, to Leimer, to Guerrero, and that cost them big time. Kane was not good. I thought he was pretty quiet the entire game. No link-up play whatsoever. It was more just, okay, let's play it out wide to Olise, let's play it out wide to Coman, let's see if they can create. It was just such a frustrating evening. Like, you can blame company all you want. You can say, oh my God, this guy, he's always going to be a Burnley manager. This game is not on company. It's on the players. It's on the players. You can just see, do Bayern Munich have good enough players to win the Champions League, people? Okay, this is going to be the question, and then we're going to look at the table and then head out here. You guys answer in the chat, and if you're watching a replay. Are Bayern Munich a top 5 Champions League favorite right now? 1, if you think they are. 2, if you think they're outside of the top 5 to be favorites. Because you cannot lose these games to an Aston Villa and Feyenoord. I'm sorry. You cannot. You're Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich. Come on. But take nothing away. If somebody was correct, so shout out to Captain Deadpool who put this out here. He's Dutch. I know that for sure. Brian Priske is 99% confirmed to be fired. Man beat Bayern Munich 3-0 and here's the papers, buddy. Adios. Auf Wiedersehen. Adios. Come on, that is craziness to me. But, I mean, it's been inconsistent, really, in the Eredivisie, so I can understand. But they've had a lot of... Like, Ued has been out this season for large periods. Santi's been out. Zerouki's been out. So they've had a lot of injuries, Feyenoord, and yet they keep on performing in the Champions League. This is great for the Eredivisie. They have 2 teams that will be playing in the knockout round. Fantastic. A great game next week, people. If you just want to watch as a neutral, is Lille against Feyenoord. Ooh, I cannot wait for that game. That's going to be... I might have to watch that game. And, of course, the Man City Club Brugge. But, yeah, let me know your thoughts, people, of Feyenoord's incredible victory. What a great Champions League week. So, nope. Leave it to us Dutch to beat a Belgian manager. Yes, they have the talent. Bayern aren't what they used to be. Too inconsistent. Santi was linked to Nottingham Forest as well as after what's happening this season. I wouldn't mind Santi going to Forest. Yeah, see, a lot of people were saying Santi to Forest. What's going on here? Maybe Forest were cooking something. They were cooking something really, really good. Okay, now let's look at the standings, people. Let's look at the Champions League standings. So Liverpool guaranteed to finish top 2. Barcelona, they're guaranteed to at least finish in the top 4. Yeah, top 4 at least. They do have Atalanta, so Atalanta kind of have to win that game or at least get a draw here. Arsenal, they'll finish in the top 8. They're going to beat Girona. Inter, they should be finishing in the top 8. Atleti, now who do Atleti have in the final game? Who do Atleti have? Who do they have? I think it was RB Salzburg, wasn't it? Somebody said that earlier. Oh my God, there's going to be all of these games are on at the same time. Okay, so Atleti will finish top 8. Milan should be finishing top 8, even though they're playing a difficult ground away. Dinamo Zagreb. Leverkusen should be finishing top 8, if I'm not mistaken. I think they have an easy game. Leverkusen, Sparta Praha. Okay, so we pretty much got guaranteed 6 or 5 of the top 8. Aston Villa will finish top 8. Feyenoord or Lille might finish in the top 8. That's pretty much a must-win game there. Dortmund should be getting up there in the standings. Bayern Munich, I think they're in trouble. I think Bayern Munich might be playing in the knockout playoff round, which is crazy. And they could be playing one of PSG or Manchester City possibly. The teams that are really in trouble, I think, are Sporting. I think are Benfica still. Man City. Yeah, those 3 teams. I think those teams are in big trouble here. Because if Sporting lose, right, and Man City win, and then all Stuttgart and PSG have to do is, then Sporting are out. Same thing with Benfica. If PSG and Stuttgart draw, and Sporting and Man City win, Benfica are out. So that's going to be fascinating to see what happens on that final match day. Basically, The two most important games, I would say, are the Barcelona Atalanta, PSG Stuttgart, Man City Club Brugge. Those are the three games you got to watch. And I think Feyenoord Lille, because if either of those teams win, they will make it into the top 8. So which team do you think needs a victory the most next week, people? I think the easy answer is Man City, right? Yeah, let's just go with that. Then the last couple things here. So you guys can see a little bit more here. Liverpool guaranteed to finish first or second. Top 8, pretty much Arsenal secured it. Inter pretty much got it. Atalanta, same thing. Bayern Leverkusen, Milan. Look, you see Aston Villa. They got a great chance, Aston Villa, to get into the top 8 here. Same thing with Lille, 33%. Feyenoord, 13%. Yeah, Juve are not making top 8. Not making top 8. So everybody at least here is guaranteed to finish in the playoff round. And then we go to this here. What does it say here? So Man City have a 36% chance of getting eliminated. Oh man, Club Brugge. This is it, man. Like, Club Brugge could do one of the funniest things we have seen in football recently and knock out Man City. All Club Brugge have to do is just get a draw. All they have to do is, so let me know in the chat right now, people, which game are you tuning into next week? Other than your own club, of course. But which game? You're going to have two screens, right? You're going to have your own club. And what's the other game you're going to watch next week? Is it going to be PSG Stuttgart? Is it going to be Man City Club Brugge? Is it going to be Lille Feyenoord? Is it going to be Barca Atalanta? Which game are you watching next week? Actually, I think there was something else I wanted to show. Let me see here. Yeah, it was this. I wanted to show you guys this. Because then we can kind of have a better idea of the knockout playoff round as well. Before we get out of here, let me just switch this over. There we go. Here. This is what I want to show here. So this is how the knockout playoff round would look at the moment, if it stopped. Yeah, there we go. At the moment, Aston Villa, Monaco would face either Sporting or Stuttgart. That would be a fascinating matchup. We could get Feyenoord against Benfica or PSG. Wow, I would love to see a Feyenoord PSG matchup. Stade Brestois, PSV, Dortmund against Club Brugge, possibly going to happen. Now, the 15, 16, 17, that is craziness. Bayern, Real Madrid, Juventus. I don't think, if I'm not mistaken, wait, let me see. Let me go back. Oh, I'll have to look back again at the odds, because I don't think Madrid have great odds to finish in the top 8, which that is going to be fascinating to see what happens there. So I know a lot of people, especially Liverpool fans, were crying, oh my God, we could be facing Bayern Munich, Juventus, or Real Madrid in the round of 16. How is this fair? Wait till next week, and then you can cry. It's still got another week to go in the Champions League, people. But let me know your thoughts. Are you liking this new format? I think this new format would actually fit perfectly if we had 32 teams. We don't need more clubs, right? Even though I love the likes of Slovan, Bratislava, to Crvena, zvezda, I want to talk about these clubs. Also, this is the Champions League. So it should be 32 teams, but this is the format it should be. The group stage, I think it was just getting sour, dire. It was just not like enjoy. You only enjoyed 2 groups basically there, because you knew the other groups was a formality. I think this new format would have just been so perfect with 32 teams. Would have been perfect with 32 teams, but you know, UEFA, money. We know why they did this. But I think this new format kind of brings a new sort of energy. You're like, oh my God, look, this team could play against this team in the quarterfinal. Oh my God, look, this team dropped all the way down. Oh, now we're getting better matchups. Like, who would have thought PSG Man City in the league phase would have cooked this much? Or Benfica Barcelona. So we're getting great matchups here. And this would be crazy, though. This would be crazy. It's going to be a totally different game compared to what it was earlier this season. But heck, bring it on. This is the Champions League. You have to play against the best of the best. Yeah, I don't really like the playoff idea either, but, you know, UEFA and money. UEFA and money. Yeah, it would be intense. It would be super intense. Then it would be like, wow, Man City are fucked. Man City are actually fucked here. They're not making it to the round of 16. Yeah, the way teams switch around in the table is insane. Wait till next week, people, because all 18 games are on at the same time. Oh, what the heck am I going to do next week? What am I going to do, people? What am I going to do? All at the same time? Lord save me. Lord save me for that. But everybody, we're going to end the stream there. We've almost been live for 2 hours. Thank you to Anthony for your kind donations. Really, really appreciate it, Anthony. Shout out to all the people in the Chat, remember to hit the like button. We haven't even, well, we got into 51 likes. So shout out to you all. Remember to subscribe to the channel if you're new under. A lot of Champions League coming up, content coming up in the next couple of weeks as we talk about the knockout round. I only have one monitor here, and I have 3 games on the one monitor. Michael, will you do a watch along next week? No. Oh, by the way, people, Monday we're doing the AFCON draw live reaction. So join me for that. We're doing the live draw reaction on Monday, and then next week Thursday is the final review for match day 8, and then we'll talk about more about the knockout round. And then Friday I might be going live for the draw for the knockout round, so stay tuned for that. Remember to hit the notification bell so you know when a new video is uploaded or when I go live. Most important thing is you hit the like button, subscribe on your way out, and I'm out of here. Big up to you all. Have a beautiful day. Stay safe in this crazy world. Till next time, adios.